Hi, you're listening to the Grow Like a Mother podcast. This is a podcast for moms, entrepreneurs, and neurodivergent folks who want to get a better handle on their time and energy management. I am your host, Jill Wright, author of Happy, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, and the creator of the Time Magic Seasonal Planner. I am so excited you're here. Let's dive straight into today's episode. Welcome back to the Grow Like a Mother podcast. If you have ever wondered what it really looks like to build a multi-million-dollar business with a baby on your hip, you're in for a treat today. I am joined by Juliana VanLaanen, a powerhouse entrepreneur and a mother of three who proves that motherhood and business don't just coexist, they can actually fuel each other. Juliana is the co-founder and CEO of Two Mama Bees, the award-winning brand behind those dreamy, eco-friendly playhouses that you've probably seen all over Instagram. Since relaunching in 2021, she's grown the company to over $4 million in sales and landed major national retail partnerships, all while founding another business and managing a portfolio of luxury Airbnb properties. Why not, right? Today, we're going to dive into what it really means to scale with grit and grace, how she can balance ambition with presence, and why motherhood might just be the best entrepreneurial training ground that there is. So, whether you're building your own empire or you're just trying to keep your tiny humans alive while chasing your dreams, this conversation is going to leave you inspired to define success on your own terms. Welcome, Juliana, to the pod. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. What a great introduction.
Well, it's not hard to write a great introduction when you have someone who is a guest with so much cool stuff that's going on. Like, I would like to start by sort of hearing the behind the scenes Juliana version of how this all got going.
Yeah. Um, so technically, in a whole other lifetime before I started Two Mama Bees, I worked corporate America. So I did that grind for quite a few years. And while doing it, my business partner at the time, who was the co-founder of Two Mama Bees with me, had two children, and her second son was diagnosed with autism. And so during that time period, she kind of lost a bit of herself. We had been childhood best friends. So her husband came to me and was like, Sam just has to make $100 a week, like something. So she feels like it's hers again. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that was kind of like the Chip and Joanna Gaines era. This was like early 2019. Um, so we were like, well, hey, we'll just build stuff for the house and throw it up on an Etsy shop. So Two Mama Bees really did start that organically. We were an Etsy shop. Our first product was a window box and then a porch bed swing. And we would just sit in her carport and build these items together for our own houses, put them on the Etsy shop and see if anybody wanted to buy them. And after roughly 6 months, we had painted a playhouse that's now our competitors in her backyard. And it took off. And when I say it took off, we had over 1,000 sales in a year. And we're like, whoa, I guess we're really on to something here. So followed that leap of faith and quit corporate America and 2 feet in with Two Mama Bees. And I kind of never looked back. And really, every other opportunity that's come my way has come out of some kind of a Two Mama Bees affiliation. So the company that I own in Belize, it's a BPO and a VA, so virtual assistants and business processing. I actually met my co-founders for that on a TV show that I did. So, and I did that TV show for Two Mama Bees. So it's been exponential growth for me, but really it started in a backyard. It was like really that simple. And we were just drinking wine and using power tools because that's intelligent on the weekends.
That sounds incredible. I love this for so many reasons. I also have a child who is autistic and I'm trying to run a business because it gives me the freedom to be able to be available to him and the support that he needs. So that, and I know a lot of the listeners, to be honest with you, have neurodivergent kids too. And so it's really cool to see that tie in. Thank you for sharing that. And I also want to make sure people heard and understood and like it really lands with them the power of like the next thing that comes to you through just doing the thing, right? It unfolds and business sort of grows and connections are made just from getting started, which is so cool.
Yeah, I say so. Sam and I are different in a way. That's my co-founder, where Sam's like, you will say yes to anything, and I'm like, I'll say yes twice to anything that comes my way. So I'm kind of a risk taker. She's a bit more reserved. it was helpful while growing the business that we had that yin and yang. And yeah, so now, yes, yes to all of it. And some of it I fall flat on my face, but there's a lesson in it, that's for sure. There's always going to be a lesson. I feel like a lot of times people are so scared of the failure, and the failure is probably what's going to make you thrive the most in life, because you're able to build that resilience and take those lessons and better apply them in the future to help grow businesses and scale businesses. You have to be able to have that resilience and be able to really come back, bounce back from those difficult challenges.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that the things that we try that don't work out teach us way more than the things that kind of just landed in our lap, right? And then you had
Mhm.
said like, yeah, the dollhouse kind of took off and that was your catalyst, but I'm sure along the way there have been and there were many different choices and tests and things that just didn't work the way that you thought that they would. And I can only imagine the value that comes from, okay, well, let's try something different, or let's learn from that mistake or that choice or that bad connection or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for naming that because a lot of people I talk to are fearful of being seen as failing as they grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say one that really resonates with me too. And was so when we did launch Two Mama Bees, which was in October of 2021. So taking it from the small Etsy shop where we were painting our competitors' playhouses to now manufacturing our own brand of playhouses, we did our first run from overseas and COVID hit. And so those big containers that everybody sees on the ships went from costing $5,000 to bring from overseas to $35,000. So it was a huge financial hit for us, but took that pivot, learned that lesson, moved all manufacturing to America, and now we're manufactured by second generation Amish artisans out of Pennsylvania. We also source all our materials in America. And guess what? Had we not done that pivot, we would have just taken a huge second hit with this tariff war. So, sometimes those moments, like what we just said, it was a hard lesson. I mean, we paid an exponential amount of money on just a shipping cost that we had never accounted for. But because of that pivot, we've been able to withstand this secondary hit that a lot of these companies had to take.
Yeah, good for you. That's really interesting when you're able to sort of look back at the choices, right? And see how they moved you to where you needed to be.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so take me back to sort of the beginning phases as you're building. You were a mom of littles at the time too. Is that correct?
Okay, so at the time, right now, I have an 18-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old son, and a 6-year-old daughter. Now, here's the really cool part. Well, I think it's cool. Samantha and I got pregnant, and we were due 5 days apart. And
Whoa.
we both got pregnant in 2019. We inevitably had little girls. Well, we got pregnant in, yeah, late 2018 when we had first started the Etsy shop, gave birth to our daughters a day apart in 2019. This is at the exact same time that we've now taken our small backyard Etsy shop. It went from her backyard, my backyard, one warehouse, two warehouses. We're fully in the trenches. When I say in the trenches, we were working 12 to 14 hours a day, hand painting playhouses in a warehouse with no AC while we were pregnant. So she ran one warehouse, I ran the other. We did this all while we were pregnant with our girls. We were back in the warehouse. We call them our baby bees. We were back in the warehouses within for me, she had a C-section, so hers was, I think she was about a week that she was back. I was back 48 hours later with a baby. So our babies would be in the front of the warehouse with the nanny, and she would just phone back to the back and be like, so and so, it's Rain and Aviana are the babies. Aviana needs to be fed. We'd run up and feed them and run back and work. So truly, when you said in the opening, built this company with the baby on my hip, yeah, I did. I did. We
Whoa.
both did. So it was how we made it through it. I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, could I do it again? Yikes, not sure. But I'm glad I went through it because it makes a lot of what happens now like, there's day-to-day issues all the time, right? You're putting out fires. That's what being an entrepreneur is. But at least I'm not sweating while 9 months pregnant in a warehouse, hand painting playhouses for 14 hours on Christmas Eve anymore. So
Wow.
there's that.
And you're in
Yeah.
Florida. Was the warehouses
Yes.
like in Florida?
Yes. Yes. They were
Crazy.
in South Florida. It was how we did it. I have no idea, but we did. Yeah. And
It's
made it
like
through. And yeah.
it's just pure determination, ambition, grit, and like um sort of confidence in self that it's gonna work out and be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. We have some cool videos of it that we look back on. Wish we would have taken more pictures. We probably didn't because we were always so dirty and full of paint, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Um, but yes, definitely there, you're right. It did build a lot of grit.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I'm sure like the experience of building a business helps you. Like it wasn't your first go round with motherhood, but how do you find that business helps you in motherhood and motherhood helps you in business? Like they're so integrated in a lot of ways, and I'm curious to know what your experience has been with that.
So I think the biggest thing with motherhood for me is I'm a single mom now. Um, Watching my kids watch me, it really does. There's nothing like it on the planet to have them look at you and say, I hope that I try as hard in life as you do. Or, so my oldest now is going off to college. So we had a conversation not too long ago. We are sitting at lunch and she was just like, I want to do all the things that you did. I hope that I'm the kind of mom that you were and show my kids, what it's like to work for something and not depend on anybody else. And so instilling values in your children through not just because you could talk to kids all day, right? And it goes in one ear and out the other, but for them to physically be able to see the outcome of what you've built, to be able to live it with you, that's different. That's profound. That's meaningful and that's impactful to their lives. As far as lessons that you learn, what don't we learn from motherhood? Like we are superhuman. The amount of multitasking that you do on a daily basis as a mother should be studied. There should be like, we should all be in like a research facility figuring out how women do it, like how or parents do it, that we can be so many things at one time to so many people and still also find time to build a business and be there too. That's a baby too. It's if for me, especially to Mama Bees, that's my fourth baby. Like I pour my heart and soul into this company. So I learn a lot from them too. My kids have taught me extreme patience, extreme resilience, and probably a lot of lessons along the way I've learned through them more so than they've learned through me. That's for sure.
I feel like that's so common. Like our kids are our best teachers, but like what
Mhm.
a great compliment for your eldest to say that to you. Like I want to be what you are, how you did it worked. Like I was inspired. And so it's just a really good reminder for everyone listening to like how you show up. They're watching. They see
Oh
it
yeah.
and like keep at it. It's hard, yes. And it really does make a difference, you know?
Yeah.
I'm curious, did you have to redefine success in motherhood with such a successful business to also manage? And did you have to redefine what success in business looked like because you were a mom? Did any of that play into your experience?
I don't know that I redefined success, but I finally found it, at least what my success looks like. And so for me, success looks like I pick up my kids from school every day. There is a block on my schedule. I am the one that walks and I drop my kids off at school every day and I pick them up and I get to spend that time. And so for me, freedom is my success. I can work from anywhere in the world as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection. I spend a ton of time on a boat fishing. So, and I could work as long as there's a satellite signal, I'm there. That level of success to me is that's it. Like I have more wealth than anybody could imagine in the world because I get to be wherever I need to be. I get to show up for my kids on a different level, a level that's not constricted to what other people tell me I'm allowed to be. Um, so yeah, I don't know that it redefined it, but I reached it. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's amazing. I think that's sort of the dream, right? Like the time freedom, the choice freedom. And yes, the
Mhm.
financial freedom is nice too, but especially as moms, like the time freedom is huge. Location freedom. I think that we're all sort of in it for those same versions of success.
Mhm.
Yes. Did you ever feel like giving up? Like, was there ever a time where it just felt too hard or there was a really big challenge? It didn't seem like you could overcome it. Do you have any of those stories to share with us?
I could probably have a million. Um, I have a lot. I have a lot. One big one this year, and probably this is good because I wish I had known that there's another side of it. I'm not saying that there was a dissolution of the friendship, but I ended up buying my business partner out. And that was for me impactful because I didn't understand why she didn't want to be a part of Two Mama Bees anymore. Her life was taking a different direction with just wanting to focus more on the kids and not have to be so tied to Two Mama Bees. And we were different in that aspect. But yeah, for me, that took me out at the knees. Like, I was like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't compute where the disconnect was, why she was wanting to walk away. But we got through it and it was amicable, and it's been probably the best thing for Two Mama Bees moving forward. And I realize that now. Um, but like most lessons, you have to go through it, then you have to feel all the pain from it, then you have to feel all the hurt, and you have to live in it until you finally reach the other side where clarity is there. And you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. She was doing it, I'm sure, for all the right reasons. She knew she was holding things back because, like I said, I'm more the risk taker and she's more the like, she would say no 9 times out of 10, where I would say yes 11 times out of 10. So that didn't work anymore once you hit a certain point where your scalability is there. And inevitably I want an exit. And so saying yes at this point is imperative, but saying yes came with a lot of additional responsibility. And so I think she just knew that she wasn't going to be a part of those larger responsibilities moving forward, where I was willing to. But yeah, it was scary. You built something from the ground up with somebody. I would have loved to see us at that table together when we exit, but it doesn't all work out that way. And I think as moms, especially, you have this like sympathetic, compassionate heart that just exists. And so you think a lot more with emotion, which can be great in business, right? Because your intuition comes into play quite often. And I'll just call it out. I don't think men have intuition in the same way that we do. And so um, it can be good, but it can be scary. And so that was a big one. That was recent too. That was within the last 3 months. And I don't know. I had to go away for like a week and clear my head and be like, do I walk to, do we sell now? And then I was like, no, we don't. I keep on the path. I keep trucking forward. And yeah, so it looks different nowadays, but
Wow.
that's okay.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's a really sort of vulnerable thing to have to navigate and completely changes, I mean, everything about how you show up. And as a like my role outside of this podcast is I'm a time management expert for business owners and moms. And so I'm super curious to know like how are you managing that change of the energy that's required now and probably a big shift to how you manage your time. Like what does your time management look like?
Well, luckily for me, so one hand kind of washes the other with two of my companies, with Two Mama Bees and then my VA company in Belize. So there was requirements where we trained some people underneath her, and then put some people in place that wanted to commit the hours. So we hired a new COO, and it's really been quite phenomenal. Um, and that's where you see, there when you don't want to show up anymore to something, you just don't want to. You know what I mean? You can't force anybody to do anything in life, like at all, even your own children. I mean, like there's free will, it exists, it's going to be there forever. You can help guide and direct, and you can pray and plan, but then, acts of like life just come into place and people do what they want to do. So yeah, with that, it's actually been better time management for me. I've now recognized how much I put on my plate before because I was micromanaging emotions. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I just I'm like an overcompensator by nature. And so I've actually gotten a lot more time back
Mm.
now that the correct people are in place. And, it took it took more off my plate. Sorry, it took more off my plate, inevitably.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm glad to know that that's how it turned out. And it gave you an opportunity to sort of assess how much of your time and energy was truly going in. And I wonder, did you, when you were in the thick of it, spending more time, more energy in the business, did you ever experience what we sort of collectively call mom guilt? Like feeling bad about not being at the business when you're with the kids and not being with the kids when you're in the business, like that whole thing? Is that something you experienced?
Oh my gosh, all the time. And I love when people come to me and they're like, "So what's work-life balance?" And I like throw it right back at them. I'm like, "I don't know. Did you figure it out? Because please teach a seminar that actually works. There is no such thing." I mean, I fully, wholeheartedly do not believe in a work-life balance, especially when you're an entrepreneur. There is no balance. There's always going to be a time when their business has to come first. And like as a mom, you don't want that to happen. I mean, on my refrigerator right now at home, there's like that, how your kids fill out the like, my mommy is, and it's like, my mommy loves to, and it says work. And like that one kind of hit me. Like, I was like, whoa, like, is that what she sees? But then fast forward, I have the conversation with my older daughter, and she's like, I love that aspect. So I'm like, okay, so, you know, yeah, mom guilt all the time. I do the best I can to juggle it. That's one thing in my house. My kids will say, I probably say the most, I'm just doing the best I can. Like, I give y'all my all, okay? And some days I probably don't show up for my kids as much as I should, and some days I don't show up for my business as much as I should, but I try,
Mhm.
and I try not to let myself read too much into it. At the end of the day, everything is thriving, everyone is alive. We're doing good.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It makes me think of two things that I'll share quickly before I have to wrap us up, which makes me so sad. So the first thing that I like to share is this idea that balance is actually not a noun, it's a verb. Like it's just something we're constantly doing. It's not a destination, right? There is
Mhm,
no such thing as this balance that we speak of. So kudos for figuring that out.
mhm.
And the other thing that I'll just share, one of my previous podcast guests, she's the co-founder of Mabel's Labels. I don't know if you guys have Mabel's Labels in the States. They're um, like name tag stickies that you put in all your kids' water bottles and clothes and stuff like that. Anyways, very successful company, and she's got six kids. And what she said to me was that she doesn't allow herself to feel mom guilt because she's like, if something's off, I just tweak it. Like I just realized, like, okay, that didn't work. I'm just gonna change the way I do it. Or, when
Mhm.
we're busy and successful women in business and mothers, and there's a lot going on, like there's really no space for us to beat ourselves up. Like
Yeah,
it's not a good use of time, you know?
I agree. We probably spend more time having mom guilt and like less time just being present with our kids. And then it's like, well, then now the guilt's worse. So, just you got to just keep moving past it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing the best we can, just like you
Yes,
said.
doing the best we can.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, thank you for sharing your story and about the business. I want everyone to go and check out the products and just dive into your world because I think what you're doing is amazing. And thank you for showing up and putting in this incredible effort to be a successful mom, entrepreneur, like all the things. The business is just so inspiring. And you have been generous enough to offer the listeners of the Grow Like a Mother podcast a discount, 10%. We're going to put all of the information in the show notes. But before we wrap up, could you share with us what the best place is for people to connect with you and find you and just get in your world?
Of course, of course. So two Mama Bees, it's the number two, and then Mama, MAMABEES, like a bumblebee. And if your listeners use the code Motherhood10, that's Motherhood10, they get 10% off any product on our Two Mama Bees site. We're also on all social media platforms as Two Mama Bees as well.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom and sharing vulnerably with us today, Juliana. It's been a really big honor for me to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And everyone listening, if you're still with us, thank you for your time. Please reach out to us. Let us know what landed. We love to hear. Let Juliana know you heard about her here on the Grow Like a Mother podcast. And until next week, keep on growing like a mother.